I think she's evil.
I think you might be right.
This one goes off. Sans husband, sans royal security, to the scene of the crime, literally, okay?
What she actually wanted was a paparazzi chase. And the fact that it didn't happen is a disappointment to her, hence why the Instagram video then happened. More pictorial evidence emerging of just how twisted Meghan Markle was in Paris in order to emulate Princess Diana, to traumatize her husband. But the thing is, acting like this, right, and making these types of stunts all about the money, all about the Benjamins, all about the moolah, that ain't good for your soul. And I think Nancy Sidley summed this up very well with this before and after: not thriving in the royal family versus really not thriving. Of course, lots of speculation too that Meghan Markle, seems to be morphing into a certain other American divorcee in Wallis Simpson. Madam Overseas making the point that they now look the same age. And of course, what has happened this week, as always happens with these Meghan Markle omni-shambles, is that the facts are reported and then Meghan uses her compliant paid PR to try and unsuccessfully push back. So here are the facts from the Daily Mail. Meghan Markle's tone-deaf appearance at Paris Fashion Week undercuts her credibility, and there is, of course, no question about that. But Marie Claire, which has been one of the biggest propagandists for Meghan Markle in recent months, claim that, of course, she's being trolled. And guess whose fault it is? It is the internet's fault, not her tasteless behaviour. Kristen Contino, I've spoken about her before. She is like the new Omid Scobie in America. Actually got paid to write this. And seriously, if you're a journalist writing this copy, you should really think about another career. I'm not being horrible, but you should. Another day, another Meghan Markle controversy. This time it's an Instagram video, a few seconds of Paris at night, shot from the back of a car, a seemingly innocent clip that anyone might take on a Parisian vacation. But in the Duchess of Sussex's case, everything she does is ripe for interpretation. If anyone else in the royal family had posted the same video, it might have earned her heart emojis or living her best life comments. Instead, it became another example of how Meghan can't win. If she's too quiet, she's hiding. If she's too visible, well, who does she think she is? It brings to mind America Ferrera's brilliant Barbie monologue about being a woman, where she states, "It turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault." Maybe the truth behind the video is exactly what it looked like. A mom of two, enjoying an exciting night during Fashion Week. Sometimes a video is just a video, and a woman in Paris is simply enjoying the view. But we know that is not how Meghan Markle operates. It has never been how Meghan Markle operates. This was a twisted scam designed to cash in on the memory of Princess Diana, traumatize her husband, and garner all of these headlines. So we've got lots to get into today with the royal YouTube sensation PDina, who joins me now. But PDina, for Marie Claire now to be suggesting that the most manipulative woman when it comes to her image and it comes to her brand and it comes to her career was just happened to be posting that video. And it's all just us reading something into it. I mean, seriously, is anyone buying this?
No, I think when you look at the fact that Meghan is someone that has married into the royal family, you need to know your lane. You need to understand who you are in that position of this marriage, who you married into, what family you've married into. And clearly Meghan is not looking at her position clearly enough to understand any and everything that she does is going to be scrutinized because of her position of marriage to this Harry. So you need to take the things that you do serious enough to understand what will happen if I post myself in Paris in a vehicle with my feet up, and Diana, my mother-in-law, was was killed here. Like, you need to understand your position, your lane. And Meghan is not just any person posting on the internet. She is someone that has to seriously look at the things that she posts in a very scrutinizing way. And she doesn't do that. And that is the problem. She is trying to be in this lane of superstar. I can garner all kind of admiration for every and anything that I do. But the reality is, no, you can't. You have to look at what you do and take it very seriously, because this is what happens when you just frivolously just post things without really thinking what could happen if I post something like this. So if she's not doing that, then she needs to be off of the internet. She needs to not post anything, because she doesn't understand that she is being scrutinized because of the things that she is doing, the lane that she is not supposed to be in. You're not supposed to be doing these kinds of things. Meghan, I think, just does not understand that people are looking at her as someone who is married into the royal family. You have to be looked at as someone that is going to uphold certain values. And this right here is just in poor taste. You are holding no kind of values, no kind of like care or concern for your husband and what he has gone through and he spoke about in his book. It just seems like she's very careless with everything that she does, and people are scrutinizing her because she is very careless. And they need to look at her like this, because she needs to be checked and put in control of the things that she is doing, because she really is putting a bad name, I believe, on the royal family, in terms of this is the kind of person that they've tried to allow into the royal family, and she's behaving like this. It's very distasteful. It's not acceptable to be this kind of a person doing these careless things. It's appalling to me what she's done.
Indeed, it's
Really.
cruel, it's evil. And I mean, we saw so many aspects to it, didn't we? Including this moment, which has now been revealed, where she showed her true colours once again in public by laughing at one of the models who tripped on the runway. Watch this. Can you believe that more than half of you are watching this video but not subscribed? So please do me a huge favour. Click the subscribe button now. Turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to all of our brand new Outspoken videos.
Sat on the front row and a model tripped and she burst out laughing. And then she realised that was obviously quite a cruel thing to do, so she sort of covered it up.
Now, Lady Colin Campbell PDina doesn't think this is surprising at all. She posted, "I don't know why anyone would be surprised by Meghan Markle's cruel reaction, laughing when the model at the Balenciaga fashion show stumbled. It is noteworthy that she is the only person who laughed, nor is this the only verifiable occasion on which she has showcased the pleasure she gets when others hurt themselves. In June 2018, following the Trooping the Colours ceremony at Horse Guards Parade, when the royal family was assembled on the balcony, as Field Marshal Lord Guthrie and many of the other participants were making their way back to Buckingham Palace by Queen Victoria's statue, and he fell off his horse. Catherine's expression of horror was apparent beneath the hand that was covering half her face, while Meghan guffawed as if she were witnessing a comedy, and not the possibility that the former chief of the General Staff of the Army and then Colonel of the Life Guards had either died or could have. That same day, on that same balcony, Charlotte fell and hurt herself, and while Princess Anne's granddaughter and Catherine rushed to her rescue, consoling her, what was Aunt Meghan, the humanitarian's response? More laughter. So again, she showed herself up, P.
Mm. Typical mean girl, right? That's what mean girls do. They don't sympathize with you, they laugh at you. And that's what a bully does. I think Meghan is showing how her behavior is as a bully, because she just, in these moments where she's supposed to just be herself, she reveals herself as a bully. And that's exactly what we have known Meghan to be. And when she does these things, she reveals to us who she truly is, because it's impulse. She's doing it because it's natural for her to laugh. She doesn't sympathize with people and their shortcomings or their mistakes. It's all a big game to her to make herself look like, oh, well, that's funny. You did that. You tripped and almost fell, because you're like the lower peons of people. And, I look at you as somebody who I can make fun of, because that's just ridiculous. Oh my goodness, that is so crazy that you almost fell. It's so funny. She is the kind of, like, I can hear that in her head, the kind of person that just does not try to sympathize with people and things that are embarrassing. it's just mean girl behavior. It's bully behavior. That's what she's showing us.
It is. And PDina, look, well, I think we knew, didn't we, that there was a financial motivation to all of this, which Rob Shooter from Shooter Scoop has been going into. But before I show you that part of his interview with Maureen Callahan from The Nerve, let's just talk about the overall motivation of this woman. Watch this.
I think she's evil. I think she's evil.
I think you might be right. What I'm trying to be generous here is not with Meghan, but with Diana. But this has brought in Diana, and I don't like it. And there was a grace about Diana, and even people that didn't like her, there was an aspect about her that we can all look up to. And to trash that to get ahead is just something that I don't want to believe. But I fear I'm wrong.
Rob, to this point, so Meghan and Harry, by the way, Harry, who is just banging the drum constantly, has sued, I believe, 3 times in the UK. He can't possibly come back to the UK unless he's got taxpayer-funded royal security for his family. They're under so much danger. And then this one goes off, sans husband, sans royal security, to the scene of the crime, literally, okay?
So who are you with there, PDina? Do you agree with Maureen Callahan, who just says, look, you can try and excuse this behavior in any way that you want or blame advisors or whatever, but actually it's just fundamentally evil?
Okay, I'm trying to understand. Is this in relation to the Paris thing?
Yeah.
Is what they were? Okay. I mean, I think it is evil in a way that Meghan has demonstrated herself to be, right? She does things very calculated. She doesn't do things in a way that is like showing her behavior, her patterns of doing things. We've always seen Meghan to be the kind of person that will, try to show up another royal, or like what she did with Gwyneth, the whole thing around the whole bullying thing. And, they came together and tried to show off, show out the haters. I think Meghan is a calculated person in that respect. And the one thing that I thought about as well is when she was in the vehicle putting her feet up, she was in the exact same position in the vehicle that Diana was when she passed away, right? She was in the back seat of a car, the right side, and really trying to emulate being in that position as Diana was. That is so sinister and sadistic to me that you could even try to portray something like
Exactly.
that.
On a Saturday night, PDina, late on a Saturday night, when she knew that's exactly what had happened, she left the hotel purposefully in a way that emulated Diana's exit from the Ritz. And my belief, PDina, is that what she actually wanted was a paparazzi chase. Because remember, she has used that in the past when it happened in New York City on 2 occasions. One, the fake car chase, of course, that never happened. Secondly, the other one in the Netflix series. I think she wanted that. I honestly think she was begging for it. And the fact that it didn't happen is a disappointment to her, hence why the Instagram video then happened.
Yeah, I mean, she is that kind of person that would want something like that so that she could have something to post about that shows similarities to Diana, whatever it is. And she doesn't get what she wants. And then she makes another move to try to, okay, let's see what you think about this. If I didn't get this, let me try this. So yeah, I can see her wanting to have something like that happen. I can imagine that she speaks to Harry about that happening to her all the time. I mean, don't forget that this was also in one of the lifestyle movies they had. I mean, it was a dream sequence where Harry had envisioned Meghan dying like his mother died. Like that was a whole recreation of a Diana's death, but with Meghan being the person dying.
I mean, she has literally spoken about it so many times with him. They've spoken about it privately. They've spoken about it publicly. They've written about it. It's appeared in the Netflix series. So even if she was just conscious of that in any way, she would never go and try and recreate it. Why would you do that unless you were either purposefully trying to make a point, hoping to traumatize your husband? I think she was trying to do both of that, but also encouraging that situation to happen, because we see it with Harry's security, right? And the claims of a stalker. It's like, when he doesn't get the bad news that he wants to prove his pathetic little point, he will try and invent it. But look, we've got to talk about the money, okay? We've got to talk about the money behind all of this because PDina, we know, as ever, is a complete disaster. So she's got her new face, she's got her new look, and Rob Shooter very much believes that everything that happened in Paris was a financial play. Watch this. But first, as I've entered my 40s, aging has become ever-present in my life. My body doesn't back up the way it used to, and I've found that it's far easier to get injured when trying to work out, far harder to recover too. But I believe one of the best aging breakthroughs of the last decade is qualia senolytic. And I'm going to explain why. Senolytics are a science field revolutionizing human aging. A big culprit behind that middle-aged feeling can be so-called zombie cells that linger in your body after their useful function, wasting your energy and resources. Now, those zombie cells can lead to less energy, slower workout recovery, joint discomfort, and basically feeling old. Now, qualia senolytic is a groundbreaking, clinically tested supplement with 9 vegan plant-derived compounds that help your body naturally eliminate these zombie cells, helping you feel years younger in just months. But here's what I absolutely love about this product. You take it just 2 days a month, helping your body naturally eliminate zombie cells to age better at the cellular level. Now, since taking qualia senolytic, I've felt like I've turned back the clock. I have higher energy, less soreness after exercise, and a big boost in productivity too. That all equals feeling so much better. So experience the science of feeling younger by going to qualialife.com/Dan for up to 50% off your purchase. Use the code DAN, that's DAN, for an additional 15%. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan for an extra 15% off your purchase. Your older self will thank you. And by the way, thanks to Qualia for sponsoring this episode. Now, let's get back to it.
Fashion business, having somebody that's a huge star on the front row is very important. These celebrities often get paid by brands. They certainly get their transportation covered. So to get Meghan there was a big deal. They wanted her. She wanted to go because now she has dreams of becoming a fashion ambassador. She would love to have a $10-20 million campaign from a fashion house. Let's be honest. Everything she's done financially, and maybe even everything, period, has not worked out. They need money. The money is running out. They live as if they are royalty in Montecito, and that money is not coming in anymore. Harry's book made a lot of money. He inherited a lot of money from his grandmother and also too from his great-grandmother. So there's money there. Don't feel boo-hoo for them. They have a great life. But the life that they want, they need to earn money. Meghan is really, really being pushy here to try and get a campaign. And I think, had this not so spectacularly exploded on Meghan, she might have got one. They at first enjoyed all the press. The fashion houses loved all the coverage, but then the Diana card was played by Meghan. It was a self-inflicted wound. To think you can be in Paris, of all cities, Paris, and drive past a tunnel, the tunnel, where Princess Diana tragically died, and to be blissfully unaware of that.
Do you think she was unaware? Do you think
so.
this Diana cosplayer, this Diana vision board maker?
I hope so, because if this wasn't an accident, if this was on purpose, then the judgment, the just the character, the moral fiber is outrageous. If she's willing to use Princess Diana's death as a way to sell a brand, or really it's not a brand, she's selling herself. If she's willing to do that, then all bets are off. Then really they're the Prince Andrews. If her judgment is that cloudy, then they are absolutely the bottom of the barrel. So I'm hoping it was a terrible mistake. It just goes to show you, though, too, the people they have around them are just the worst. They only have yes people. Had we been in that car with her, I would say, put away the phone. No, don't post that. And we probably would have said, don't go this way. I don't want photographs of her limo going past that tunnel. There are many, many ways to get around Paris.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
I like the fact that Rob Shooter is trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. But I think what he needs to understand, and of course his reporting on all of this has been so good and so accurate, but what he needs to understand as someone who's covered Meghan for many, many years, there would have been people around her saying this, PDina. There would have been. There always are. She ignores any form of sensible or sane advice. And very quickly, if you give that advice too much, you're booted. You're gone, because she's only going to do what she wants to do. And that often means enacting these twisted plans. But in terms of the financial motivation, I think absolutely she needs to do that. As ever, is a complete car crash of a brand. I mean, she's now slipping out these new products of the toilet wine. Do you know what I mean? The New Zealand salve and the other type of orange marmalade without it even making a ripple, right? It's dead. It's as dead as a bloody dodo. So of course this is a reinvention.
Absolutely. And she's a loose cannon. She just does things and doesn't really think about them. She's just trying to do any and everything. This whole jam stuff hasn't gone the way she wanted it to go. And now she wants to do something else with lifestyle fashion and then makes this mistake or this huge blunder. I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but just with Diana, this woman does not have any kind of guidance or anyone controlling her to help her make good choices and decisions. Everything that she does is a disaster. I mean, yeah, no, this was someone that did this with very clear intention. And when you think about the things that Meghan has done in the past, of course she would do something like this. My goodness, she got, this $1 million wedding by the British royal family, and then went on Oprah and talked about them being racist with no evidence. Or why would she even do that? So why would anyone question her doing something like this with Diana? Like, Meghan is the kind of person that is just in a kid in a candy store with Harry on her arm doing the things that she wants to do because Harry gives her that he gives her that permission because she's on the world stage and and now that they've broken away from the royal family, she is out of control with the things she is doing. She doesn't listen to people, and that is why, going back to the first point around why anything that Meghan does is going to be criticized, that's right. She doesn't know how to stay in her lane. She doesn't know how to be the person that is not in the front, the superstar. And because she's trying to do all these different things to be the superstar, she is getting all of this scrutiny because she doesn't deserve, or she can't be in this position and try to command respect. She is like the Sarah Ferguson. Think about Sarah Ferguson trying to overshadow Princess Diana. No, girl, you Sarah Ferguson. You're in the background. You cannot outshine anybody because you are the second fiddle. You are in the background with your spare husband, right? And that's the reason why people give her so much scrutiny. Girl, stay in your lane in the background. You are trying to do too much. And this is why every time it fails, because you don't know what you're doing, you're not supposed to be in the front because you're a moron, essentially. You make poor choices, decisions. You don't listen. You're a poor decision maker. That's Meghan's problem. She doesn't understand the lane she's supposed to be in. She keeps trying to go in other lanes, and we're not having it. And this is why, and because she doesn't know how to properly be in the position she is really supposed to be in. This is why all this is happening.
And you are dragging down your husband with you to such a low, and you never stop. And in fact, Pedina, that leads us on very nicely to the breaking news of the day, which is that we hear Harry and Meghan still intending overnight to travel to New York City to pick up a fake award being named Humanitarians of the Year at Project Healthy Mind, all while Harry's last African charity collapses around him, Pedina. And look, African parks, and we've spoken about this a lot, but it has almost been like the unexploded grenade right? It has just been waiting to explode. But all the focus and all the attention was quite rightly on what happened in terms of the collapse of Centre Barley and the claims from Dr. Sophie Chandoka. But African Parks is actually a scandal that is so much bigger, PDina, because of course it involves claims of cruelty to human beings, claims of sexual assault of human beings. And Prince Harry has until now remained steadfastly quiet. Well, that cannot continue. Now that an actual African country, the nation of Chad, has turned its back on African Parks in a damning 4-page letter. So let me just take you through some of the key details. Royally Sage said those allegations against African Parks must be worse than what we've heard before. They just lost their status. The charity has been markled. According to Taz, another of Harry's associated charities is on the chopping block. Chad has withdrawn a mandate held by African Parks to manage key wildlife reserves. The decision ends a 15-year partnership. And here is the story, and that is indeed true. That is indeed the case. Ministers have accused African Parks, on top of everything else, PDina, of financial irregularity. And yet, you know, when the British Bashing Corporation sat down with Prince Harry earlier this year, and apparently nothing was off limits for the BBC, they didn't ask him one question about what is going on with African Parks. Even though these accusations of serious financial misconduct and failing to protect wildlife now come from an African country. Okay? I mean, it's completely damning stuff. A 4-page letter from Chad. And remember, Prince Harry, PDina, became president of this organization in 2017, but he was actually promoted in 2023 to the governing board of directors, assuming greater responsibility for management and strategy. When is he going to say something about this crisis?
Yeah, he hasn't done anything about it, and that just shows you his lack of leadership, his lack of responsibility to doing the right thing. And it points to, all the things that Harry has essentially done since leaving the royal family has not been responsible. He doesn't have the guidance, nor the know-how to do the right thing. And this is exactly what needs to happen, because Harry needs to be pushed out of any and everything that he is attached to. As long, considering he is no longer really working with the royal family, he doesn't belong to really any country. He's as Meghan is a loose cannon. They're just out there roaming, doing things to help their brand. It's all about how they can make money. It's not really about the work that they are attached to. This work really is to help them, increase their profile and brand to make money. And I think companies and countries like this see that, and they want to break away because it doesn't serve them or their mission to align with Harry and Meghan, because we clearly can see what their motives are, and that they don't have any guidance or responsibility to a greater good or people or country. They need to be just exiled completely from any attachment to a country, a people, a mission, because they no longer are aligned in purpose of what Harry was initially aligned to when this all started for him. And that is the royal family, the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth. He has broken off from these things. So he needs to just, I'm sorry, Harry, just needs to go away, because he is exactly like his wife at this point. She's the one that has brought Harry down to her level. And this couple right now, they are lost in everything that they do. And the sooner these people break away, the better off they will be moving forward with the right kind of image and profile as someone that could bring eyes to their mission and their work. I think Invictus will be a next. I just don't see how they can survive. Harry can survive all these mishaps.
100%, because I mean, this is the establishment newspaper, The Times, right? And just their summing up of African Parks, which I think underestimates actually the horror of it, but it still shows you just how much this is finally going wide, PDina. They write, it is a further dent to the reputation of African parks, which has been criticised for adopting a militarised approach to conservation and has had cases of abuse confirmed against its staff. Earlier this year, an independent investigation found that employees of the charity in the Republic of the Congo had beaten, raped and tortured Indigenous Baka people. While African parks acknowledged serious abuses, it declined to publish the full report. So what we also have here, PDina, is a cover-up, which is no surprise when Prince Harry is involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happens, right? Like, isn't that what Dr. Sophie Chandauka said? Like, she brought everything to the fore. She really opened up a can of worms to a lot of mishaps or things that were happening behind the scenes that we didn't know about, and we see it being repeated again. So Harry, I think, brings with him this sense of entitlement that he can do whatever he wants, and people see that that cannot go on any further. We have to cut ties because with your name and who you are, you think you can do things that you just simply can't do. And I think they're doing the right thing because Harry brings with him not anything that is going to help these organizations really make meaningful impact to their missions. It's time for him to go. Right thing to do.
Indeed. Indeed it is. But it is also time for accountability for that charity, PDina. I do not want him resigning and getting off the hook because he has been here. He has been leading the way this whole time. Now, by the way, if you do want full access to our Royal Uncancelled After Show, twice the length of what you have just watched, and we have big revelations to come involving the ongoing feud between Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and Meghan Markle, then make sure you sign up to my Substack. The address is www.outspoken.live. That's how you get full access to the Royal Uncancelled After Show Monday to Friday. You get it live or on demand, whichever you prefer. By the way, you can watch any time, but you get it with no advertising whatsoever, and a lot of people really love that. Substack is a free speech community. It protects me from big tech cancellation. I'd love you to be part of it. You can message me directly on there. www.outspoken.live is the address. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.